Oh,
Okay. We're all set, Phil.
all right. Good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday, October 4th, 2023 meeting of the Zoning Hearing Board for the City of Reading. This is a special meeting called for Appeal 2023-30, which involved 1400 Hill Road. Unfortunately, the attorney for the appellant has had a pretty serious family emergency, and they have asked for a continuance, which I'm going to make a motion to grant that continuance. But just I wanted to assure everybody first that what we will do is do this again as a special meeting. We will try to arrange a time that everybody's schedules can, be accommodated, especially since I think there's a lot of interest in this particular appeal.
Bill,
So,
we need to open the hearing first. And
yes,
let's put the exhibits in.
right. So I'm going to introduce the members of the board first. Tom,
Tom Fox, member of the board.
Jeff, you're muted. You're muted, Jeff. Okay. All right. Bill,
Bill Harst, member of the board.
Charlie.
Charlie Jones, alternate member of the board.
Okay. Steve,
Steve Price, solicitor to the board.
Emily.
Emily Diaz-Melendez, zoning officer.
Okay.
You got me, Phil?
Yes.
Okay.
Introduce yourself, please.
Jeff Gatone, member of the board.
Okay, thank you. Jared Bars, are you out there on the phone? Okay, I don't think Jared is with us this evening. Okay. Would you swear in Emily, please?
You swear this testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank
Has
you.
notice for this appeal been given?
It has.
Okay, Mr. Price.
Thanks. I'll put some exhibits into the record. Exhibit number 1 is the notice. Exhibit number 2 is proof of publication of the notice. Exhibit number 3 is proof of posting of the notice. Exhibit number 4 is the application, including all of its attachments. And exhibit number 5 is the zoning ordinance of the city of Reading as amended.
Okay, thank you. All right. As I said earlier, the attorney for this appellant had a family emergency. We're going to grant it. I'm going to make a motion to grant a continuance. Again, it will be a special hearing just for this particular hearing. And so I'll make the motion at this time. Is there a second to my motion to grant a continuance for 1400 Hill Road, which is Appeal 2023-30?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
So I don't know exactly when that will occur, but you will all be given due notice. All right, Mr. Price, do we want to deal with 901 next?
Yes, that's the only other item on the agenda. 901 Center, as you recall, was started last month. They were represented, the applicant was represented by Paul Troisi. The only issue before the board was whether or not this non-conforming apartment use had ever been abandoned. And they have subsequently supplied to the zoning administration videos of the apartment prior to them renovating it, which demonstrates it's a 2-bedroom with a bath and a kitchen and a living room that they merely updated. So after the zoning office got possession of those videos, their recommendation was that it was never abandoned, and as Mr. Troisi said earlier, that it never would have had an appeal in front of the zoning hearing board. So I would put those 2 videos into the record. And if any members of the board have questions of the applicant or Mr. Troisi, you're welcome to do that now. And then we can see if anybody's in the audience.
Okay, so any members of the board, Mr. Fox?
I have two questions. The first one has to do with asking the applicant. I was a little confused about the difference between the applicant and the property owner. Mr. Malay lists his mailing address as 429 South 10th Street. The property owner is listed as Evo Empire LLC, and the address is 910 Penn Street. I don't see anything for 901 Center Avenue. Could you explain that to me, sir?
Yes, I'm in the transition of getting I used to live at 429 South 10th Street, so I'm gonna get all that switched over to 901 Center Avenue, which that's gonna be my primary home of residence once all this is resolved.
All right. And I have one other question about parking. Are you going to make the garage below the apartment reserved for the tenant?
They will be able to use one parking space. They will be able to use one parking space in the garage, correct?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, does any other board member have any question? All right, seeing none, does anybody in the audience have any question? Anybody in the audience have any question?
Yes, I do.
Okay, would you give us your name and address, please, sir? I know who you are, but
Michael Louder, 836 Center Avenue. My question is, do not apartments, each apartment have to have 1.5 parking spaces per unit?
So
Let me,
typically,
let me
Okay.
answer this question.
Okay,
If the board determines that this use was never abandoned, they would be grandfathered in under their prior permit.
okay. All right. I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
It looks
Emily,
like-
did you have anything you wanted to say at this point?
I just wanted to put it on the record in case, anyone goes back or anyone from the Harb wants to know what happened. So basically, barring the evidence that was recently given to us, that's the only reason why it came to the board. Had we gotten that video evidence at the zoning permit submittal stage, what would have happened is we would have taken that video with that permit application. We would have voided out the previous permit, basically getting rid of that dwelling unit, and then reinstated the nonconformity. And that would have all been done on staff level. And so then any issues with like the parking and things like that, that would also, any nonconformity with that would have been reinstated as well.
Okay, thank you, Emily.
Mhm.
Does anybody else in the audience have any question? All right, seeing none, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for the appeal? Is there anybody who wishes to speak against the appeal? Okay, seeing none in either case, Mr. Price, do you have anything you would like to add or question?
The only thing before we would go and maybe discuss setting up a meeting about discussing last month's decisions or potential decisions, I would say that I know Councilwoman Hinterschmitz is here, that we would notify her to coordinate with her schedule for the Hill Road discussion, because I know she's interested in it.
Right.
And was authorized by council to show up. So we'll coordinate with you, Emily. So make sure when we're setting up a date that the councilwoman is put in the loop so she can concur on the dates. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I have, Mr. Rabina.
Okay, Mr. Tosi, do you have anything you would like to add?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing no more, I'll close this appeal. We'll issue a decision at next month's meeting, which will be next Wednesday. And the decision will be mailed to you. You do not need to attend the meeting. And again, we thank all of you, but I think you understand that family stuff comes first. And so we will keep in touch with all of you, and you will have your time to speak on the 1400 matter. So with that, I'm going to close this appeal and this meeting, and we thank all of you for your presence this evening.
Phil, do you think the board wants to meet at my office maybe on Friday morning to discuss the